Hello guys and welcome back to Car Obsession. Today you join me at Bicester Heritage because I'm here at a Mazda Media Drive Day. As you can see to my left hand side, I'm joined by the Mazda CX-60, and let me tell you what a stunning piece of metal this is. Very stylish and very easy on the eye. Now this is a hybrid car, which nowadays is very common, but this is actually a diesel hybrid, so a little bit unusual. Why am I driving this car? Well, I put a poll on Instagram and a third of you wanted to see me drive this car, and I like to please the audience. So let's jump in, go for a drive and see what this car is all about. So a quick disclaimer, this is not a full-blown review. I've only got this car for a short amount of time, therefore these are really my first impressions. Also, I'm driving in an area I don't know. I'm in Bicester Heritage and I don't know the area at all. So before I potentially get lost, let me read you through the spec sheet. I'm going to cheat, apologies, it's just going to be a bit more efficient for both me presenting and you as a viewer. So this is powered by a 3.3 litre V6.
Whoa, Aaron, you utter Burke. It's an inline 6. It even says it on the front wings, for crying out loud. Yeah, okay, sorry, my mistake. My mind was thinking one thing, i.e. inline 6, and my mouth said something different. V6. Ugh, just can't get the staff nowadays.
Diesel, of course, it's a mild hybrid setup, 8-speed automatic, horsepower 254, newton meters 550, 0 to 62, that's actually quite impressive, 7.4 seconds, and top speed, irrelevant, 136 miles per hour. In regards to fuel economy, you can get up to 54.3 on a combined range, and CO2 emissions are 139 grams per kilometre. This is the Takumi edition, which is quite a high spec one. Might actually be the range topper. I think I will need to correct myself with a subtitle.
In fact, let me go one better and do a voiceover instead. The Mazda CX-60 is available in 3 trim levels: exclusive line, Homoura and Takumi, with starting prices ranging from £45,320 through to £49,520. Standard features for the exclusive line include power tailgate, black leather seats, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, keyless entry, 18-inch alloys, head-up display, dual-zone climate control, LED lights, front and rear parking sensors, reversing camera, 12.3-inch infotainment screen, 12.3-inch driver's digital display, and a strong host of safety systems. The Homoura trim level, which starts from £47,170, adds to this with black 20-inch alloys, ventilation for the front seats and heated outer rear seats, 12-speaker Bose sound system, electric adjustment for the front seats, hands-free power tailgate, and changes to the exterior design. Then you have the Takumi, which is featured in this video. With a starting price of £49,520, this range-topping version adds black machined 20-inch alloys, Napa leather trim finished in white, and white maple wood interior accents.
So first impressions, the cabin is a really nice place to be, interesting materials. Mazda has been banging the drum about Japanese craftsmanship, all that jazz, and yeah, it's paid off. It's a really stylish interior, and it does feel rather special. Some interesting materials used throughout, and it's an interesting place to be. Interesting in a good way, not a bad way. Sometimes you can say, this is a bit interesting, and yeah, that can sound more like a negative, but nope, not in this instance. So as I mentioned, I've got an 8-speed automatic. The brakes feel a little bit numb at crawling speeds. See what it's like off the line. Sounds better than I was expecting. Now, I suspect that is thanks to some electronic trickery, some sorcery behind the dashboard, but if it makes the car sound better, I'm not against that, if I'm going to be honest. Head-up display is nice and crisp. It's quite large as well. You won't see that on camera. Even if I were to show you a camera, the head-up display, it gets picked up by a camera lens differently than it does by the human eye, but it's nice and clear. The rider's got a slight firm edge to it, but it's soaking everything up rather nicely. The roads in the UK at the moment are, yeah, they're rubbish. That's the most polite way I can put it on YouTube without resorting to swearing.
Yes, before I potentially turn the air blue, let me tell you a little bit more about the comfort. If you go for the Homoura or the Takumi trim levels, you'll benefit from electric adjustment for the steering column. That is a first for a UK Mazda. There's some clever tech as well. The CX-60 has the Mazda driver personalization pack, which uses a camera inside the cabin to automatically adjust the driving position based on the driver's physique. It also uses facial recognition to automatically restore saved driver settings, which will be very handy if the car is being shared amongst the family.
Response is nice. A little lag to begin with, but then when you get the engine on song, of course it's helped out by the mild hybrid system, it makes decent progress. One negative thing I do want to start off with, and I did mention it a few moments ago, the brakes. I thought it was just that particular instance, but no, the brakes, the initial dab of the pedal, it's quite a firm pedal, which is pleasing, but you don't get a lot of feedback to begin with. It takes a bit more pressure to go, aha, something's happening, right. Having said that, I've had that complaint in quite a few EVs and hybrids, so yeah, that isn't anything new. Let's take manual control of the gearbox on the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. They're quite small. Would be nice if they were metal or perhaps slightly nicer material, but they don't feel cheap, which is the main thing. Changes are really smooth. See, going into third was the first change I noticed, and that's because, as you can hear, that gear is too low for this speed. So through normal driving, you wouldn't drive down here like that, it would just be silly. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to mention, you do have a small selection of driving modes. So you have off-road, which is non-applicable, you have normal, or you have sport. I like sport, but to be fair, this car isn't designed to be driven in a sporty fashion, so let's not get into normal, which I would anticipate would be most people's default preference. The steering in normal is nice and light, but it's still got enough feedback to it. And I'll tell you what, bearing in mind this is a large car which is far from light, the front end, that's actually surprisingly responsive. I wasn't expecting the front to respond like that. I thought it was going to be a little bit laboured and a little bit lazy, but you know what? It's not bad. As you would anticipate, given the height of the car and the fact that it's an SUV, there is some body roll, but I mean, credit where credit's due, that's not half bad. As you would predict with the sport mode, you get more engine noise being pumped into the cabin, the steering becomes heavier, and of course you get better throttle response. I quite like it in sport mode, even though it's not really designed to be a sporty car, is it? It's quite pleasing though. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really have any expectations from this car. Not because I thought it was going to be a bad car, it's just I didn't have an expectation in mind. But it's pleasantly pleasing to drive. Already I'm getting the idea that I could drive this for many miles and not really be fatigued at the end of it. Of course, you've got your mod cons, large screen, dual zone climate control, heated seats. I've actually got ventilated seats, and of course a heated steering wheel. Very nice indeed. Of course, with comfort goes refinement. How is the refinement? It's a little bit windy outside, but other than that, the refinement is impressive. Up until this particular road surface, I hadn't really noticed the tyre noise, which is it's credit to the engineering and of course the tyre supply, which in this case is Bridgestone, because with 20-inch alloys you would expect there to be quite a lot of tyre roar, but it's civilised. If anything, I'm probably speaking louder than I need to. Touch upon visibility. So far on this admittedly short drive, I've had no issues with visibility. The C-pillars are quite thick. They may give you a bit of an issue when you're parking, but I doubt it because you've got the mod cons, parking sensors and so forth, and cameras. So although this is a larger vehicle, I'm sure day to day you shouldn't have any real concerns.
What about practicality? With the rear seats in place, there are 570 litres up for grabs, which can be extended to 1,726 litres with the 40-20-40 rear seats folded down. Space in the rear is decent for my 6'2" frame, although I wouldn't say it's particularly groundbreaking.
Now this has been quite a pleasant surprise and nice experience. It's refined, comfortable, stylish, got lots of kit, drives well. It's got a lot going for it, this car. The problem is though, are people going to be turned away because it's diesel? It's a dirty word nowadays, isn't it? In fact, I'm not even too sure I can say diesel on YouTube. It's almost a swear word in the automotive community. Well, certain parts of the automotive community at least. And I'm pretty much back at base, ready to hand the key back to Mazda so someone else can drive this car. I have to say, I'm properly impressed. A very nice set of wheels. I do hope you have enjoyed this video or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.